Hello and welcome. I thought it would be helpful every once in a while to just take a look at some strategies that have been helpful. We're going to look at two strategies that are more routines that you can put in place to help you stop and think about how you feel about something or how you're thinking about something. Let's go ahead and take a look. For the last few months, I have incorporated a routine in my day that I have found to be pretty helpful. It's really simple. It's taking time to write 2 sentences. Well, that's the bare minimum, is to write 2 sentences. The first sentence is the best thing that happened to me, and the second sentence is the worst thing that happened to me. It seems very simple, but those are things I wasn't really thinking about. I wasn't putting value to everything. I've come to realize that there are just certain things that I take time to think about, and that is one of the things that I'm really not taking too much time. It's kind of like my life is like Dory.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming.
And so it's just, I keep moving forward without really analyzing the past and how I feel about it. It's very logical. Everything before this has been very logical. It's like, okay, XYZ happened with this person, that person, and so therefore, in order to move forward, I need to do ABC. And it's not necessarily stopping and thinking about, okay, well, X happened. Now, how do I feel about how X happened? And what does it mean to me? It's always more looking towards the other person or the situation or, just the big picture and not necessarily focusing on the details of myself. And it's not even necessarily trying to solve the problem. It's just getting it out there. It's just trying to have feelings towards it, not just think, oh, this is a problem I need to solve. It is more of, this is a problem, and just laying out, this is how I'm feeling about it. Or, why do I keep going to problem? This is what happened, and then this is how I feel about it. And that's it. It's really helped me to kind of figure out myself in this. Figure out how I feel, not just thinking about others. And I will tell you that during this time when we're doing the at-home stuff, it has been quite a struggle to identify both good and bad things. Quite a few days in a row, I was writing, I can't really think of anything that is the best part. Everything just seemed like meh. And there's another gray colored day. It was hitting me in the face. It's like, why is this happening? Why do I keep thinking this? And then I got to think, well, am I not being grateful enough for like the little things? Does something have to be like a banner day in order for me to record it? Or can I record something that is, not as spectacular as fireworks or whatever? It made me think also when I've connected it that I sometimes don't recognize those low level feelings. And maybe this is a part of it where it's like, if it's all at a level 3 is just not enough on the Richter scale to develop any kind of recognition, I don't know. But in one sense, that's not a good thing, because I shouldn't have to feel like something has to be at a level 8 for it to be recognizable as a good thing. I mean, there are a lot of good things that are very low on the totem pole of energy, but they're still good. And I think now that I'm saying that, I feel like it's very much connected to energy, because a lot of high energy things really gets my attention. A lot of low energy things doesn't really get my attention. It's just, that's the way it is. And so this is telling me that I need to really reanalyze these lower energy positive things and value them, because I'm obviously not valuing them. And that is not good, because I'm missing out on a lot of positive things. I mean, on the flip side, I'm missing some of the low energy things that are negative. I mean, I feel like I don't. I feel like I see all the negative things, but that is probably just my wonky perception. It has been very enlightening. So the second item that I wanted to share with you that I've been doing prior to staying at home, this was something that I was doing almost every single day. And that would be that I was talking to myself on my way home from work. So this became another routine for me to do because, again, I can't escape myself from the car. I can't escape driving home in a car. These are all things that are going to happen. And all I have to do is make the choice to turn off the radio and just talk to. And what I ended up doing, just because it kept me a little more accountable, was I recorded myself. And I did not listen to it ever again. I just did it to say, I'm talking to somebody right now. And it also made me feel a little less crazy that I was talking to myself in the car. I mean, thankfully there's like Bluetooth. So me talking in a car is not very weird looking. I think the outsiders will be looking in and think that I'm just talking to somebody on the phone. But when I was feeling a little more self-conscious, like I was at a stoplight and there was another car next to me, I would purposefully pause every now and then to make it look like I was listening to somebody else in a conversation. So it just wasn't me like talking nonstop over and over and over to nobody. So the silliness aside, what I found from that was another way for me to kind of process things, just to unload. And for some reason, doing this audibly has been very helpful because a lot of times, if I try to do this in my head will start there. But then, like everyone else, it starts there and then it goes there and 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 there. And then you start thinking, wait, how did I get here? Because I was supposed to be thinking about something else. What was I supposed to be thinking about? Oh, yeah. And so again, it goes back to changing something, changing a habit. So the habit might be thinking about all the other things that are going on and then just somehow purposefully doing something different. Again, I had to recognize that, wait a minute, I'm not utilizing this the way I want to be utilizing it. I started talking about what the other person was thinking, or why did they say this, or why did they do this, why they. And I was getting away from how I felt about it, but that wasn't the point of it. So once I recognized that again, where it's like, wait a minute, you're not doing this right. You need to be talking about how you are feeling about this, not about what they are thinking about this. So as we kind of come to a close here, I want to just leave you with some advice that I've learned through the process of going through and coming up with these new routines for myself. Number one, make sure that it is doable for you. Make sure that you pick something that is easy to follow through with. Don't try to go from 0 to 60 miles per hour because you're going to burn out. It is going to fall flat. Something is going to happen. I can say this through experience. That phrase that I want to say over and over again to myself, baby steps. Yes, you're only writing 2 sentences, but those 2 sentences will turn into a paragraph at some point, or maybe even that paragraph will become a springboard into you starting to think about it throughout the day. And maybe you don't want to necessarily try the 2 things that I'm sharing, but I would encourage you to try something. The simple things are not always the easiest ones to incorporate because like I said, this is a routine. And so for a routine, you have to routinize it. You got to make it part of what you do during the day. Number 2 would be from James Clear, and that is attach it to something that you already do. So make something become the cue for you. It's an event that happens and it's your cue to do something. Now once you've done this, now I got to do this. And then it'll start becoming more of a routine. And number 3, I would say adjust it to make it work for you. because you're going to hear a lot of ideas. Even right now, what I've suggested, try to kind of tweak it again so that it makes sense and works for you and your situation.
Good morning wall, morning ceiling, good morning floor. Ready to start the day. Step 1, breathe. Okay, got that one down.
I would love for you to share some of the things that you've been working on to get to know yourself better, to focus in on yourself. What are some routines that you have in place? Because I'm always looking for new things. I hope that you join me next time when we look at something different. And with that, I will say goodbye. Three, two, one, contact. Do you remember that show? I used to love that show. Tyra Banks says, smize. Don't smile, but smile with your eyes. How do you do that?